Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhanusude Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vancha Kalpatarubhasya Kripa Sindhubhye Vacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo 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 Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhudale Srimade Bhakti Vedanta Swamini Vinamini Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashyati Deshkari Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama. Hare Krishna. So we'll continue from 6.11. Okay, so till now we have seen the Ashtanga Yoga, different process to Krishna explains, and then now he is going to say about the Yama and Niyama, like how the position should be and how we should sit and all that. So that is 6.11. We'll start. Sucho deshe pradishtapya stiram asana atmanaha nati ushritam nati visham chailanchinas shobtaram tatrekagram manakritva yatachite driyakriyaha upavishya sani ujya yogamatma vishuddhaye. So he's telling how we should sit, like sitting firmly in a clean, sacred and secluded place, not too high, not too low, in a kusha grass with deer skin and a soft cloth and top. Why do you think they use a deer skin? Why do they use it? Yes, Shriyamatsi?
To get rid of insects, Mataji, in the forest.
Insects and also some reptiles, some snakes and all might be there. So they should not come. But then where do we go for deer skin now? And also fixing the mind on one point, controlling the mind and senses, one should do yoga for the purification of consciousness. So here itself we fail because you can run off to a secluded place in this Kali Yuga, no? So it's not possible here. And here, fixing the mind, controlling the mind and senses, again difficult in Kali Yuga. Now we're keeping the body and neck and head straight, being motionless and firm, staring steadily at the tip of the nose. It says you should not close the eyes, then you fall asleep. So it's like being erect and meditating on the Lord's form, withdrawing the mind from sense objects, being fearless. The vow of celibacy, making Lord Krishna the ultimate goal of life. But they don't meditate on the Shyam Sundar form. Sometimes it's the light, the Brahman or the Paramatma, right? So that's what it said. But nowadays in the yoga societies in big cities, what's happening? No, it's just a business. Like big cities do not offer such circumstances expected here for the yoga practice. It says secluded place alone, but then it's not possible in Kali Yuga. And what is happening in the nowadays yoga practice? It's like in a studio or something where the group of people does it. Because one who's not self-controlled and disturbed in mind cannot practice meditation. Everyone is disturbed, right, in Kali Yuga. And Prabhupada concludes the best means of self-realization in Kali Yuga is chanting the holy. And celibacy also to help one completely abstain from sex indulgence in work, words, mind at all the time, under all circumstances, all the place, very difficult. But then in Bhakti Yoga, again, Jnana and Dhyana celibacy is must, but Bhakti Yoga household brahmacharis are allowed. So that means they can have Krishna conscious children. And cult of Bhakti Yoga is so powerful that one automatically loses sexual attraction, being engaged in the superior service of the Lord. So param drishtva nivartante, getting a higher taste. And also now, Prabhupada mentions about the fearlessness, important quality to practice Ashtanga Yoga is fearlessness. Okay, so the next few slokas also it's been explained. And one cannot be fearless unless one is fully Krishna conscious. Right? So why we have fear? Because we are forgetting our eternal relationship with Krishna. That means we forget that we are the servants of Krishna, and when the living entity turns away from the Supreme Lord, we forget our constitutional position as a servant, and because of that, there is haya, right? So who knows the pavarga of material life? Pavarga, something called pa ma. Prabhupada mentions this in so many lectures about material life. So here, yes, Mataji.
Mataji, you're asking the question, Baba Ma?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah. So, is the what do you say? I got fur is the foam which comes in the mouth of a thing.
Yes.
Her is the fear. Ma is mrityu. Bha is bhai.
Yeah.
Yeah, pa, I'm not
Yeah,
remembering.
pa is parishrama. Okay. So you
Parishrama. Yeah.
lot of hard work.
Yeah, you had me. Okay. Yeah.
So there is a lot of hard work. So we put a lot of hard work in the material life. Everyone, like few hours, it take like 2-3 hours to go to the work and come back, and sometimes like 10 hours, 14 hours of job, overtime and everything. So a lot of parishrama is there. So when you do a lot of hard work, as Mataji said, first for fena, that means the form that comes out. Now sometimes so much of hard work and all, atyahara prayasasya prajam. So much we do try to work so hard in the material world that you become exhausted, and sometimes you can see in the animals in a form comes like because of so much hard work. And then there is bha, as much bondage, that is bandhana. When you do karma and there is a lot of reactions binding you. And then bha, that's bhaya or bhiti. That means will I lose my job, or will I get promotion, and so many fears related to that material thing. And then ma is mrityu. So as we keep thinking of this, there is mrityu. And so this is what will happen in material life. That's called pavarga, pa, 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 ma, right? But then when you go to apavarga something means like getting liberation. So in liberation way, there is no bhaya or bhiti. Okay. So in 615, it says Yunjanevam Satatmanam Yogini Atamanasaha Shantim Nirvana Paramam Matsamstam Adhikachati. Thus practicing constant control of the body, mind, and activities, the mystic transcendentalist, his mind regulated, attains the kingdom of God or a god of Krishna by cessation of material existence. So even by doing devotional service, we are actually trying to control our senses and mind. So Ashtanga Yoga is actually not meant for health improvement. Now, including me, I have personal experience that yes, my back pain got cured by going for the yoga practice initially before coming to Krishna consciousness. But yeah, I was thinking that as a means of getting rid of the back pain. Might be like many have this joint pains, and also we do a lot of asanas, and it's like the muscle stretches, and then so much health improvement happens. But that's not yoga. Yoga means connecting to God. No, there's no God in that modern yoga system. And entering into voidness, sometimes in Shavasana, they say that you enter into a space, and so many things they make us think. And there is gymnastic fees or magical jugglery. So that is not actually yoga is meant for. And Prabhupada also mentions about the dham here, place where there's no sun, moon. Pavaka. Krishna keeps on repeating, na shashango, na pavaka. So it's like, na, it's not there because it's self-effulgent, and the Lord always inside in Goloka, and he's all pervading Brahman as a localized Paramatma also is there. Golokeva Nimshati Apilatma. Even though like sun is in one place, his energy or light is there everywhere. Similarly, the Lord is in Goloka, but he is everywhere. He's inconceivable. And what is the quality of to reach the kingdom of God? For proper understanding Krishna's position. And one can overcome the path of birth and death only by understanding Krishna. Janma karma janme divyam evam yovedi tattva tekta deham punarjanma naiti. Krishna says there's no punarjanma for those who actually think about the Lord or know about the Lord. And 16 and 17 says about the regulated lifestyle of a yogi, how we should be eating, sleeping, recreation, and the work and all. So Krishna says in the 16th sloka, Nati ashnatastu yoga astina chaikanatmam anasnata nachati swapnashilasya jagrado naivacharjana. There is no possibility of one's becoming a yogi or Arjuna if one eats too much or eats too little, sleeps too much or does not sleep enough. What happens when you eat so much? You can't practice, like you can't get up at Brahma Muhurta, you won't be able to concentrate on your japa. If you sleep less also, you feel less sleepy in the japa. No? Less sleep. Or eat too little, again you become hungry, there's gastric problems and everything. And then sleeping too much, again, tamoguna. So you should control the sleeping and eating. So here it says yukta hara viharasya yukta chetasya sarvavu yukta swapnava bodhasya yoga bhavati dukkaha. That means we should yukta hara means controlled or regulated eating, sleeping. What does Prabhupada mention? How should one eat? How much? Yes, you can all unmute.
Only half.
How much?
1/4 water and one should be left. Half 1/4 should be left empty.
Yes, so half, and then 1/4 is water, 1/4 should be air. Like so, then there is a complete balance. Otherwise, the whole system get disturbed. So Prabhupada says, like you had your first course, like you just took a little rice, chapati or whatever. There's some people, they have just rice, and then next you take rice, chapatis or something. Then you going to take the second time or like third time you're taking, you just keep thinking, do I really need it? Do I really need it? Sometimes, that's the way to regulate it. And one of the best way of regulating eating is what? Put in the chat, what's the best way to regulate eating? Okay, this and all we can do half and all that. Yeah, Shreya Mataji, almost close. What is it? What do we do for that? Yeah, you are almost right. But what is? No, more than eating slowly and all, more than eating Krishna Prasadam. Ekadashi fasting. Yeah. So Ekadashi, when we take Ekadashi, what happens? Every 2 weeks, you're getting regulated. You're controlling your tongue. In the initial days, I was like, Ekadashi, because I was so attached to eating rice and rotis every day. And I was like, on the Ekadashi, I have a lot of this craving to eat rice and chapatis. I don't know. Other days, you don't feel like eating, but that day. And then slowly, what happened? We regulate our tongue. Oh, no, I should not eat. I should not eat. I should eat fruits. I should eat, non-grains, and things like that. And then slowly what happens when we become used to it, and we feel so light on Ekadashi day, you feel like your body is a lot of rest also, and so much detoxification happens, so much benefits spiritually and health-wise. And then you keep waiting for the next Ekadashi. Oh, when is next Ekadashi? Keep looking for it. No? So that's yeah, I don't feel like eating sometimes on Ekadashi. Sometimes you take nirjal, sometimes just water, and sometimes only fruits, safal. So it's up to you how much you can have. But what do we think? My friend, like if tomorrow is Ekadashi, she's like, tomorrow is Ekadashi, eat so much, eat fast. A lot of rotis and a lot of chapatis. So if you have after sunset, if you're supposed to eat before sunset on the previous day of Ekadashi, what happens if you eat after sunset? Then the food is still there in your stomach. And it's just getting digested. You don't get proper sleep. Your body is still functioning. And even if when Ekadashi starts the next day, still some remnants are there of the food in your stomach. So some devotees, they take only fruits during the previous night of Ekadashi, or you have your grain dinner before like sunset, something like that. So that it's completely digested. And so that's the best way to do it. And yes, so Ekadashi fasting, and also fasting for some acharyas, appearance, disappearance, Janmashtami, all that. So this also helps us to control our tongue, because Nectar of Instruction says, Vacho Vekam, Manasa Kruto Vekam, Jihva Vekam, Uttara Pasta Vekam, Edan Vekam, Yo Vishaheda Dera, Sarma, Apima, Prithivim Sashishya. The first love, NOI. Says you have to control the tongue, urge to speech, mind, belly, genitals, and everything, so that then only a person can become spiritual master or can have disciples all over the world. So the first thing is to control the tongue. And yes, Krishna Prasad is the best way. That's good. But then the more than that, Ekadashi fasting, that will really help us. Taking Ekadashi Krishna Prasadam every day will definitely help us to control your tongue, and it's Yuktahara again, controlling. But what devotees are not artificially doing it. You want to enjoy foodstuffs, you can make it and offer to Krishna and then enjoy it. No? So even varieties are available, vegetable foodstuffs. But then you offer, then it becomes karma free. So regulation of body is essential in spiritual life, whether it's Jnana Yoga, Karma Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, whatever it is, it has to be regulated. Then only the process will work. My friends, like, they chant 16 rounds, pakka, perfect 16 rounds. But then advancement is very slow. Why? Because on the other hand, they eat onion, garlic, they take tea, coffee. Then what happens? This intoxication, there's all these tamoguna footsteps in your body, and you don't take Krishna Prasad, then the chanting of the 16 rounds get affected. It doesn't give you full result. And that's why you will be like wondering why I'm not able to advance, what to do. My advancement is very slow. Why? Keep checking whether you're not following the 4 regulative principles somewhere. Okay, I know it's difficult in some home to avoid all that things, but then slowly you try to overcome that, because otherwise it will affect your spiritual process won't work perfectly. Yeah, so other days also, if you start regulating your foodstuffs, especially when you come to Krishna consciousness, everything gets regulated and you don't have that craving anymore. Initially, it will be there, but slowly, you get a higher taste. A diet, don't eat too much or too little, because too much causes diabetes, too little causes tuberculosis. It's the best that one eat only the reverence of foodstuffs offered to Krishna. And don't sleep too much, too little. 6 hours, best. It's enough. But the thing is, we might be sleeping 6 hours, but still we don't feel fresh the next day because we have heavy dinner on the previous night. And it's like, if you don't give 2-3 hours for digestion, then what happens? Your body will be so much tired, won't be able to get up. Then your japa won't be nice quality of japa. Your quality will go down. You might be completing 16 rounds, but the quality won't be good. So regulation the habits of eating, sleeping, recreation, and working yoga mitigates all material sufferings. And extravagance in eating, sleeping, defending, and mating can block the advancement of practicing of yoga. This is what I said, it will block the advancement. You might be chanting for so many years, but then advancement is very slow. But on the other hand, the person or the devotee who's following all these will advance like fast because the process really works. Okay, so we should be careful of what we eat and where we eat and from whom we eat and all that. Now, especially after taking initiation or diksha, you should be very careful. You should not do any offense for that. But before that, yes, some, like while traveling and all, you can't compromise. So some difficulties, especially when you have some disease and all. But still, try to remain sattvic. Try to eat sattvic so that your consciousness is good and you will be able to advance. So there's a lot of comparison between Ashtanga Yoga and Krishna consciousness. In Ashtanga Yoga, there's constantly engagement of body, mind, and self in relation with Supreme. Even Krishna consciousness is like that, but Ashtanga Yoga is imperfectly done because they are impersonalists mostly, or like that. So, but in Krishna consciousness, there is direct relationship with the Supreme because they associate with the Lord in the holy name. And in Ashtanga Yoga live in a secluded place. They avoid disturbance by external object. But a devotee has to stay in association of good association. Otherwise, they are always aloof from material. Always Maya will catch them. Can you give some example where devotee, I'll unmute everyone, was staying alone and then lost track of devotional service?
Bharat Maharaj.
Yes.
Bharat Maharaj.
Anybody else?
Vishwamitra?
Yes, very good. Vishwamitra also was little disturbed. He was alone. There's one more Rishi.
Mataji, Shringa Rishi Muni.
Ringi?
Ringi was with his father Shamiga, so that's not the real. He was with his father. Only thing is he was a little angry on Parikshit Maharaj. There's one more Ringi.
Ajamila Mataji.
Ajamila.
Ajamila is Ajamila, yeah. Ajamila was alone in the forest and got disturbed. Yeah. Kadambari Mataji got it right. What was it, Mataji?
Valmiki?
Not Valmiki. Shaubari Muni. So what did he do? He went into the deep water to meditate, controlling his breathing and everything to meditate. And then what happened? He saw 2 fishes meeting and everything was lost. And then he came back and married 50 queens and everything got lost. So this is how he was alone. So alone doing Krishna consciousness will never work. If you think, I don't have to go for class, I don't want to go for, Mangalarati or Japa sessions, I can do alone. And I'm like, very exalted devotee, I can do this. Nobody needed between me and Krishna. Initially, you all think like that. But then if you don't have association, Prabhupada says, if you think you can advance without association, you are an illusion. That's wrong. It's completely wrong. It can't happen. It might happen for some time and it becomes dry. Krishna consciousness become dry, and then what happens? You fall down. You might be chanting so many, was chanting 16 rounds and they fell to 8, 4, 0. Zero, completely zero, because there was no association. So association is very, very important. And then associating with Srila Prabhupada through his books and money, the lectures, and also associating with devotees. It's very important in our journey towards Krishna consciousness. Association is, how do you differentiate good association and bad association? Here it is said good association. You stay in good association. Now, how do you think it's a bad association? What are the things which make you feel it's a bad association? Or what is good association?
Good association who always feels person always talks about the material things and attach it to the material.
That is bad association.
Bad association. Good association always talks about Krishna.
Talks about Krishna.
Association, devotees of Krishna.
devotees of Krishna, but how does it affect you? After how do you say it's a good association? After, what is the after effect of the association?
Anartha
They help us to progress further
Yeah.
with
Purifies us
Krishna.
also.
Compare ourselves with the higher devotees and say, think that even we should progress in the same way. We should follow them.
Anartha Tibrati.
Yeah, so all the anarthas get washed away little by little. And then good association means the association should help you to read more Prabhupada's books. The association should help you to chant more. The association should help you to hear more about Krishna. That taste of hearing, the taste of chanting, and should increase in you if you are associating with a devotee. In devotees itself, there are different stages of, like a mango becomes ripen and ripen and ripen. First is very raw, it's bitter, little bit sour, and then as it becomes ripen and ripen, it becomes very sweet. No, so like that, devotees also there is Kanishta, Madhyama, and Uttamadhikaris. So you don't know, there are mixed of devotees. Everyone with Kanti and Tilak is not just like a devotee. There's different grades of devotees. Now, when you associate, you check for yourself: is this association helping me, or is they talking just gossip and material things? And is it really helping me to advance? Then yes, you go ahead with that association. But you can choose your association. Nobody forces you for association, like you have to associate. No, you can choose with whom you should associate. Always try to associate with senior advanced devotees so that you learn from them, and associate with your friends on the same level so that you share and make friendship with them, and associate with the younger ones, or younger in the sense those who are new to Krishna consciousness, neophytes, so that you help them to advance. So there are different levels of association. And association means what? Word association. What is meant by association? Or according to Rupa Goswami, nectar of instruction.
Exchanging prasadam and the views,
Can you
exchanging
raise
gifts.
your digital hand?
Gifts.
Raise your digital hand. Yes, Shreya Mataji.
ददाति प्रतिग्रहणाति गुह्यमाख्याति पृच्छति भुङ्क्ते भोजयते चैव षड्विधं प्रीति.
Very well. Yeah, can you explain that?
Exchange of gifts and discussing of confidential knowledge and prasadam and
Yeah, giving prasadam, taking prasadam, then giving gift. No?
Yes, ma'am.
yes, ma'am.
Yeah, okay. So this is what is the sixth type of exchange. Rupa Goswami explains in Nectar of Instruction. That's Updeshamrita, verse 4. Verse 4. Dadadi pratigrihadi guhyamakyadi pritchati bhukte bhojade chaiva shadvita priti lakshanam. The 6 aspects of association is giving gifts, taking gifts, giving prasadam, taking prasadam, and revealing one's own mind and confidentially inquiring from devotees. So this is that book, Nectar of Instruction. We'll be starting it soon after Bhagavad Gita, all the 18 chapters. Then we'll be taking Nectar of Devotion, and then we'll have Nectar of Instruction. Okay, this is a very small book. We have 11 slokas in it, and this is a very important book by Rupa Goswami. So much to learn from it, and these slokas are for memorization. By the way, a Bhakti Shastri student should be knowing all these slokas, contest them. But I'm not scaring you all. But then as you go to those chapters or books, you can all early start studying the slokas little early, because those slokas are not like Bhagavad Gita. It's like little longer ones. 4 slokas have to be memorized from NOA, 2 from Ishopanishad, 3 from NOD. That helps you in preaching. Okay, that's fine. Okay, so that's about association. Then struggle hard to fix mind on the super soul and Ashtanga Yoga, and the devotee always think about Krishna and never forgets him. Okay, Satatam, always. So please request it to practice yoga Ruda stage in Ashtanga Yoga. Is perfect determination should be there and should not hanker about unnecessary material things. And in Krishna consciousness again, where there is little chance for material, there should not be any material attachment for us. And again, different position of asana in Ashtanga Yoga, not too high, not too low, deer skin, kushagras, straight posture. But Krishna consciousness, nothing like that. There's no rules and regulations like that. No, in Krishna consciousness. And Ashtanga celibacy was a must, but Krishna consciousness allows Grihastha brahmacharis. That means Grihastha ashrama is allowed, where Krishna is in the center. And the opposite is Grihamedi, which they live for just sense gratification. And for Krishna consciousness, if you're fully Krishna conscious, there is fearless. Because Krishna, Avishya Rakshabe Krishna. That devotee has a strong feeling that Krishna will definitely protect. So there is fearless. And in Ashtanga Yoga, you see the Vishnumurti in the heart as an expansion of Krishna. And in Krishna consciousness, devotees always see Krishna everywhere. And in Ashtanga Yoga, the Gola life is Krishna in the heart of the living entity. But in Krishna consciousness, the person Krishna. And in Ashtanga Yoga, there is a cessation of material existence, the kingdom of God, and can be achieved only after perfect understanding of the Lord. And in the devotee, he engage all his senses in the service of Krishna. It's like Ambarish Maharaj. And yogi should eat only what is required to keep the body and soul together, not too much eating, and only food in goodness should be offered to in the yajna, and no meat eating or intoxication. And in Krishna consciousness, the quantity for a devotee, he eats only limited, and he fasts according to the scriptures like Ekadashi and all, and no artificial compound fasting, and only Krishna prasadam is taken. And sleeping, if more than 6 hours, is lazy and dreaming. And in Krishna consciousness, there's something called Abhyartha Kalatam. Does anyone know what that is? Abhyartha Kalatam. That's a symptom of a person, devotee in a bhava stage. This is given a nectar of devotion. It is Abhyartha Kalatam. Not heard? Abhyartha. Okay, so Shreya Mataji says, not wasting a single moment. Yes, Avyartha Kalata means a devotee always keep checking. Did I waste any time not thinking of Krishna or not doing any service to Krishna? So he keeps checking. Okay, I got up in the early morning and did my japa, then I did that, I did this, then I did my reading. So did I waste somewhere? So when you recollect your day, there'll be so many times where we wasting our time. No, but then a devotee, a pure devotee, this is in a bhava stage. Shri Prabhupada keeps checking whether he is using every moment Krishna service, and Haridas Thakur, Rupa Goswami and all. And Krishna consciousness, they work for Krishna, no desire for sense gratification. So there is no materialization. So now we'll see how Krishna describes how to meditate. He said that, and now Krishna will describe the perfect stage of Ashtanga Yoga. That's in 18 and 19. Yada viniyadam chittam atmani eva vishistate nispritha sarvakamebhyo yukta iti uchyate tata. When the yogi, by practice of yoga, disciplines his mental activities and becomes situated in trance and is devoid of all material desires, he is said to be well established in yoga. So there, Prabhupada mentions about this, the very nice sloka from 9.4 and 18 to 29, and the 4th chapter, 18th sloka. Does anyone know to recite this? Savai Mana Krishna Padara Vindayo by Ambarish Maharaj. Who knows to chant? It's a very nice sloka. Yeah, it's told if you can memorize these. No, you don't have to. You can look and sing. You can look and chant. Who knows? Can unmute. Does anyone know? So the purport Prabhupada mentions sloka.
Sloka number, Mataji?
Neeraja
Chapter
Mataji. 618, in 618, Prabhupada in the purport mentions about the Bhagavad sloka. 6.18. You got it? Savai Mana Krishna Padara.
Mataji.
Yes.
Savai Mana Krishna Padara Vindayor Vachamshi Vaikunta Gunanu Varnane Karau Harer Bandira Marjanadisho Shrutim Chakara Chutta Satkata Katodai Mukundalingalaya Darshane Drishau Tadbritya Gatra Sparshenga Sangamam Granam Chatatpada Saroja Saurabhe Srimad Tulasya Rasanam Tad Arpite Padav Hare Kshetra Padanu Sarpane Shiro Rishikesha Padabhi Vandane Kamam Chadasya Natsu Kama Kamyaya Yatottama Shloka Janashaya Ratihi.
Okay, so this is the sloka by Ambarish Maharaj. How Ambarish Maharaj used everything in Krishna service. Savai Mana Krishna Padarayam, that means his mind was attached to Krishna's lotus feet. Vacham Sivaikunda Gunani Varne, his tongue was used to talk about Krishna. Karav Harir Mandira Marjana, his hand was used to clean the Krishna's temple. Shrutim Chakacha Agara Chuta Satkadodiye, his ears were used to hear Krishna Katha. Mukunda Linga Laya Darshanadrisha, his eyes were used to see the beautiful form of Krishna. Tatvat Gatra Sparsha Anga Sangyume. His body was used to embrace the devotees. And Granam Chatat Pada Saroja Saurabe, he was smelling the flowers offered to Krishna. Srimat Tulasya Rasanam Tadarpide, the Tulsi offered to Krishna's lotus feet was tasted by him. Madhav Hare Kshetra Padana Sarpane, legs were used to go to Krishna's temple. Shiro Rishikesha Padabi Vandane, head was used to go down to Krishna. Kamam Chatasena Tukama Kami Yaduttama Sloga Janashrayarati. So here it is said, for freedom from material desires, a Krishna conscious person is automatically or easily practice Krishna consciousness by engaging all his senses to serve the master of sense, Rishikesha. That's why Ambarish Maharaj did that. So criteria for perfection of yoga is all mental activities should be disciplined and should be situated in transcendence, free from all material desires. And this is what is distinguishing the characteristic of a yogi from an ordinary man. This is automatic and easy. So Sukham Kartam Abhyayam. And process of engaging all the sense in the service of the Lord. So transcendental engagement of the mind and senses is called yukta. Like just like a lamb in the wingless place does not waver, a perfect yogi studied his mind in samadhi does not waver. And then he also speaks about realization of a yogi in perfection, how his happiness is and how he's fixed up. Happiness, one experience boundless transcendental happiness by direct experience of the soul and the super soul within the heart, and fixed up one's focus never depart from the truth. And he got a highest gain. One thing, no greater gain is possible, and unshaken, one remains unshaken even amongst great difficulties. That's called Nishta, that he becomes so much fixed in devotional service and freedom, free from all material miseries arising from material contact. The primary characteristics of yoga principle is that one becomes gradually detached from material concept. There is actual samadhi. The yogi realizes the super soul, transcendental mind and intelligence. So for a yogi in 20 to 23, it has been explained about the transcendental pleasure that the yogi gets. Even in Krishna consciousness, no? The first step is again happiness. Now you all started chanting. You got that ruji. Otherwise, how will you keep chanting every day? Understanding the soul and super soul as the eternal individual identities. There is identity. There is individuality. The Prabhupada mentions the purport about Patanjali system and refute monastic impersonalism. The impersonalists say that Krishna doesn't have a form and we become one with the Lord, we merge into the Lord, the Brahman effulgence, but that's not true. Devotee always have its individuality, like a fish in the water, not the bubbles in the water. So unauthorized commentators try to identify the individual soul with the super soul, and the monists think that is liberation, merging. But they do not understand the real purpose of the Patanjali system. Patanjali system accepts transcendental pleasure, but the monists do not accept this out of fear of jeopardizing the theory of oneness. So Prabhupada explains about the Patanjali Yoga Sutra. Will say Kaivalya. Kaivalya means to become one, reveals the true nature of the living entity actually. And that's what the true nature is. It's not, it said Kaivalyam Naragayade. To become one with the Lord is wrong. And Purushartha means material religiosity, economic development, sense gratification, and the end attempt to become one with the Supreme. So this oneness means what? Referred to oneness means to see Krishna everywhere and everything in Krishna. And oneness also means in quality become one with the Lord, not in quantity. Okay, so Kaivalyam, the monist, refers to oneness with the Supreme. According to Patanjali, this Kaivalyam is internal transcendental potency by which the living entity become aware of his constitutional position. Okay, and two types of samadhi Prabhupada explains here: samprajnada samadhi and asamprajnada. Samprajnada means to become seated in the transcendental position by various philosophical research, and asamprajnada means there's no connection with the mundane pleasure. One is transcendent to all sort of happiness. Okay, let me finish this. And also he says, yogi once situated in the position of transcendental to all mundane pleasure, he's never shaken from it. So without reaching that position, it's unsuccessful. So what will happen to an unsuccessful yogi? What is the fate of an unsuccessful yogi? Yes?
Falls down, Mataji.
Falls down and then he's
Then
unsuccessful.
He may take a birth again.
Returns to material entanglement again.
Yeah, can we have raised hands? Yes, they will, Mataji.
He gets a birth either in a aristocratic family or in the family of devotees so that he can start where he stopped.
Yeah, so Shuchinam Srimadam Gehe. So unsuccessful yogi, Krishna mentions that they take birth in an aristocratic family, rich family, or a Vaishnava Brahmin family, so that they continue from where they stop. But most of the time, what happens when they're born in rich family, Maya takes them. takes charge of them. And unless they meet a devotee or only by the mercy of a Vaishnava, can they progress further. But so in a unsuccessful yogi can definitely, so that's why when the children are born in Vaishnava family, Prabhupada says they are all Vaikuntha children, they are devotees from previous life, they're continuing from where they stopped. So this is what will happen to an unsuccessful yogi. But then if you are doing Ashtanga yoga, then to reach Samadhi, it will take a lot of time. Yeah. So Prabhu, yogi, yeah, for unsuccessful yogi, even if they are doing Ashtanga yoga, that is, if they didn't reach Samadhi, see, some people, some yogis in this life, they reach Samadhi, right? It's not possible in one life. That's what they continue from previous life. So because Ashtanga yoga, Karma yoga, Jnana yoga are all leading to Bhakti yoga. No, it's a ladder process. So slowly, they become perfect in Ashtanga yoga. They can reach Bhakti yoga. So Krishna allows them to gives them a nice opportunity where they can continue from where they stop. That's perfect for Bhakti yogis, but in other yoga process also, they can continue from where they stopped, in the sense they get a chance to become devotees. Because they are trying different processes to reach Krishna, either the Brahman realization or Paramatma realization. So if they are not successful, Krishna will give them a chance to become devotees in next life. Okay, so that's what it meant by continuing. So today's so-called yoga practice involves various sense pleasures, which is contradictory, and yogic attraction by any byproduct also, like they want siddhis and all. So one get full happiness in his occupation, does not aspire for any other happiness in Krishna consciousness, and one must make best use of the bad bargain. He meets bodily demands without arousing sensual pleasure. And he's unshaken and fixed up. Okay, and one is alert to Krishna conscious thinkers. 24th sloka, Krishna says, Sanishayena yuktavyo yoga anirvinna chedasa sankalpa prabhavan karma kamams tektva sarvan asheshataha manasevendriya gramam vidiyamya samantata. One should engage oneself in the practice of yoga with determination and faith, not be deviated from the path. One should abandon without exception all material desires, born of mental speculation, and thus control all the senses on all sides by the mind. So it's not possible to don't have any desires. Everybody have desires. But Prabhupada says only a stone cannot have desire, right? So it's there, but then the desire should be purified, or it should be diverted to Krishna. So here it says about here it is said the practice of yoga with determination and faith. So today our breakout room discussion is about that. So please go through the purport of 6.24 and discuss the relevance of Srila Prabhupada's statement on determination. Okay, and how does that that help in your own life as a practicing devotee? I'll put it in the chat. You just copy it and or just note down like 6.24. Okay, it's talks about determination. So how is this determination helping you in your devotional service? Okay, you can all share your personal experience, personal things, how it affects your sadhana, and how determination has a role for you to play in your spiritual life. We have a 10 minutes discussion and come back. Okay, are all back? Just wait some more time. Room number. Yeah, okay. Yeah, so number 1, Charu Mataji, Kadamri Mataji, Kishore, who likes to talk. Yes, and
Hare Krishna Mataji.
yes.
We are everybody has discussed whatever points I have collected that I like to say. That we started our journey for this spiritual consciousness from listening. From listening, we got that faith, we earned that faith, then came in association with the good, it is good association. Then our feelings came that whether we are small or big, like that Garuda and small bird, that feelings, we overcame that feelings, and that confidence we build up. Then continuous practicing with this good association since morning to night, this practicing, and our goal, the goal what we have set each one of us, that we should lead a spiritual life and going back to Godhead. In fact, this going back to Godhead didn't come in mind, and this continuous practicing, it has made us detachment. It has detached ourselves from the materialistic world. Now, this determination, particularly this word determination, it doesn't come in our mind. But I discussed with everybody, because this 24 hours, that the art of living, that way what we are living the life, automatically it has detached ourselves from the materialistic world, and we are living that spiritual happy life. Hare Krishna Mataji. This point we discussed.
Okay. What about room number 2?
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Yes.
We have 5 devotees in the room number 2, and all of us have agreed on certain points, except barring 1 or 2 points, which is exclusive to one of the devotees. Firstly, we discuss what we understand by determination. Our determination is to become a pure devotee in Krishna consciousness, leading a pure life, devoted to, so that we do not remain bound by this cycle of birth and death, and we return to Godhead. That is the only point which we could get in Krishna consciousness, nowhere else. So now how we actually give practical shape to this determination? Firstly, it was initially, before coming to this consciousness, it was difficult to get up early in the morning, but all the devotees who are here, most of them, barring 1 or 2, they are getting up early in the morning, attending Mangalarati without fail, whether they are traveling, whether they are in a hotel or at home, they do it, practice. Secondly, listening to short and long Bhagavatam class, it is a regular practice with most of us. Chanting is a mandatory practice, and everybody is chanting 16 or more rounds now with full faith, and that gives a lot of strength, courage, patience to feel the adversities of life take as a prasadam of Krishna, and we are doing it very regularly. And the issue related to coffee, tea, and initially it was very, very difficult for everybody, but we are now focused, and whatever, we don't consume garlic, onion, coffee or tea at all. Then the second issue was about chanting. During chanting, it is still not Shuddha chanting. We are doing Nama Prada, but we know, we are conscious about, and we realize that mind is like a monkey. It runs away quite often. But now in Krishna consciousness, we learned that hearing the name of Lord is the only way of correct mode of chanting, rather than focusing on the form, because focusing on form becomes a speculation or mental imagination. So under guidance of our able spiritual teachers, we are now focusing on the name that we are chanting, and that is the meditation, or I mean the chanting has become is slowly becoming better and better. Now, secondly, regarding chanting, all of us agreed that unless we chant 16 rounds minimum per day, it is we are restless, and even before we fail, then before sleeping we complete definitely, positively. Fasting has begun, because fasting earlier was not. Now, as just now discussed by you, Mataji, with the fasting, there is no desire to eat food. Or, for example, I personally take just some boiled potato without any salt, or some curd, or maybe half of apple that entire day, nothing. There is no desire. We feel so, energetic and enthusiastic whole day after fasting. Bhagavatam classes, besides listening to Prabhupada lectures, say some people in office or other way keep on listening, or even reading the books at home. That is a practice. Everybody is reading Srimad Bhagavatam, or Bhagavad Gita, or some or other kind of book written by Prabhupada. And one of the Mataji in our group has mentioned that she's religiously reading the quote of the day by Srila Prabhupada Mataji, and also forwarding it to like-minded groups. So these were the observations we made in our discussion, Mataji, in group room number 2. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Right, now room number 3. Anita Mataji, Kumar Prabhu, Neeraj Mataji, Darshini Mataji, Shri Devi Mataji.
We had a very good discussion, Mataji. I was waiting for someone to volunteer, actually. If anyone is volunteering, I'll be too happy. Otherwise, I'll just put down a few points we discussed. Most of it has been discussed by the other groups, but what we felt, we had a very wonderful interaction. The point is, the determination, according to me, is to do with the mind. Mind and the two things we have with the mind and the body. Okay? Now, the mind has to determine and the body has to obey the mind. But when the body doesn't obey the mind, your determination actually becomes shaken, actually. So we have to have that coordination between the mind and the body, whatever it is. Could be chanting, could be getting up early in the morning, or could be not eating onion and garlic, or not drinking tea, coffee, or attending the Bhagavatam classes, attending Chaitanya Charitamrita classes, whatever it is. All the temple activities, all of them. It's the mind has to have that upper hold, have a power over the body, then body will follow. So if you know how to culture your mind, you are able to bring the body down. So we had some wonderful discussion. I have no problem, because I have wonderful support from the family. We are, of course, I didn't mention that we are Vaishnavites. And then no one has, that sort of, the urge to definitely eat or consume those things which are not allowed in Krishna consciousness. But there are certain people, their Mataji is very, it's a challenge for them. People at home, they don't agree for food with no onion, no garlic, and then they want, not only that, not that they want it, they also want the devotee also to indulge in it. Then what to do in such a condition? And some of them are so educated, highly educated, they say onion, garlic are very good for health. You can't leave it. But then you should tell them what really the cons are of onion and garlic. Of course, health-wise, as a doctor, you also would agree that these things will be good. But then the other things also which help us to keep the same, the status of our health. So we have to convince them we have to first convince them. In determination, there are no two thoughts. You have to be fixed, anchored in your whatever you are feeling. If we start shaking, then they'll shake us away. You have to definitely be very, unperturbed like the sparrow. And at the ocean, that story has been told by Prabhu just now. That's how it was determined to see that the ocean was emptied because its eggs were taken away, and how Garuda came to its rescue. So if we are determined, Garuda is a God concept here. When we are determined, automatically God will come to help us. And how he helps, we do not know. That is the miracle. It's actually what is to be seen and observed. So seen actually. So we all felt that we have to see that our both the Shri Mataji said that you have to tell them that onion and garlic are Rahu and Ketu, eating the saliva of Rahu and Ketu. So are you prepared to eat that? taste that and be happy with that taste, automatically that sort of resentment will come towards both the. That's one way of doing it. I don't deny. But then the best is, you don't shake. Whatever may happen, it's difficult. You have to. It's fighting against the waves. But once you're fixed, people will understand you and they will follow you. That's what I felt. And Nirja Mataji has a problem with her own. In people, especially son, who he has put a time like a condition that if you don't allow me to eat onion garlic, I will not become Krishna conscious. Then I told her, don't worry, Krishna will bring him round. You don't have to bother to bring him, or he doesn't have to bother to come himself, enter into Krishna consciousness. God will bring him round. How we will do? You have to wait and watch, as I've done in many of my situations. So that's what we discussed, Mataji. So we have to see that both the body and the mind cooperate, work in harmony. Yeah.
Yeah. So about the determination, yes. So it's very important, as you all have done it till now, like chanting 16 rounds with a lot of determination, because getting up at Brahma, especially during winter times, it's difficult. And then attending all the classes and then having nice association, it needs a lot of determination, because if you give little space to Maya, Maya will just take us. And there is so many.
Mataji, I've got one problem, Mataji. I want to ask you. See, when health doesn't cooperate, health. See, mind is saying yes, and body also wants to do it. But health is something, which doesn't permit at all. Then it's so difficult, Mataji. No determination helps at that point.
You need to compromise a little bit. But then there are devotees who, even if health is disturbing you, there are some devotees who actually lie down on the bed and chant. So in that way,